adjustments because a couple weren't here. So a couple of these parts the kids haven't really practiced, so just bear with them. But they'll do fine because they've done fine. We've talked about the crucifixion the last couple services that we've had downstairs, and just kind of went through, you know, what the whole life of Christ means instead of just looking at Easter itself, but the whole from the birth to the resurrection, just really what Jesus' whole life means to us. So Tegan is currently passing out some rocks, so I'll go ahead and see if Waylon, our narrator, will come up, and Marley and Cambry, if they will come up. If Marley and Cambry will come up, you guys come up and stand in front of your cards. Marley, right here. Face that way. Cambry, over here. Right in front of that yellow. Turn around and look at the yellow. There we go. Perfect. All right, Marley, come back here. Turn around that way, and Waylon will take the colors, remember? Okay.
Welcome. We would like to welcome you to our Easter program called The Colors of Easter. Our youth will be reading some scriptures this evening that talk about why we celebrate Easter. You will notice that the youth have passed out rocks for everyone to place in their gardens. Each of these rocks are decorated with 5 colors. I would like you to think about all of the 5 of these colors and what they mean when you look in your burning summer. The first color is yellow. The youth group thought that yellow would remind you of the brightness of the angels when they came to visit Mary and Joseph. Micah.
Pick up your yellow card and hold it up. Turn it around.
We can see it.
Hold it up.
Yeah, now turn towards us, baby.
Turn around this way. Turn the yellow out, Cambry.
Turn the yellow around, Cambry. Here now.
Look around here.
Yeah. Now turn it.
Upside down.
Here, I'll help you. Now, Marty, I need you to turn and face everybody else. Just like it and hold it up, okay? Sorry. You should have turned it off while I was doing that.
Birth of Christ. Matthew chapter 1. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was this wise, when as his mother Mary was opposed to Joseph before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done, that is might be fulfilled, which was spoken on the Lord by the prophet, saying, behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name
Matthew out.
which being interpreted is God with us.
The second color is green. The youth group thought that green would remind you of the color of the branches that were used to praise Jesus as you walk in town. Cash.
And they went their way and found the colt tied by the door in a place where two ways met. And they lose him. And certain of them that stood there and said unto them, What do ye losing the colt? And they said unto them, As Jesus has commanded, and let them go. And they brought the colt to Jesus, and cast their garments on him, and sat upon him. And they spread their garments in the way, and others cut down branches off the trees, and strawed them in the way, and they that went before, and they had followed, crying, saying, Hosanna, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Blessed be the kingdom of our father David cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna is the highest.
The third color is black. You thought that black would remind you of the darkness that came across the earth while Jesus took on our sins. Nate.
Oh.
Crucifixion, Matthew chapter 23. Where's this? This one? Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophecy, saying that they took the 30 pieces of silver and price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them the potter's field as the Lord appointed me. And Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Art thou the King of Jews? And Jesus said unto them, Thou sayest. And he was accused the chief of priests and elders, and answered nothing. Then said Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witnessed against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly. Now that the feast, the governor was wont to release the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, Whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or Jesus, which is called Christ? For he knew that for envy that they had delivered him. When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife said unto him, saying, have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. The governor answered and said unto them, Whether the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate saith unto them, What shall I do with Jesus, which is called Christ? They all said say unto him, Let him be crucified. And the governor said, Why, what evil hath he done? But they cried out more, saying, Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this person. See ye to it. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and on our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Jesus, he delivered him to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall, and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. They stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they platted a crown of thorns, and they put it upon his head, a reed in his right hand. And they bowed to the knee before him, and mocking him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. And they spit upon him, and took the reed, and smote him on the head. And after they had mocked him, they took the robe off of him, and put his own raiment on him, and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man Cyrene, Simon, by name, him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall, and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. They crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that might be fulfilled by the spoken by the prophecy. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast a lot. And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head the accusation written, This Jesus, the King of Jews. And there were two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And they that passed reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise, the chief priests, mocking him with the scribes and elders, said, He saved others, he cannot save himself, he cannot be saved. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also which were crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all of the land for the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani? That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them stood there that when they heard that, they said, This man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran to the sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on his reed and gave him a drink. The rest said, let us see whether Elias will come to save them. Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened with many bodies of the saints who slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, went to the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake, and those things that were done, they greatly feared, saying, Truly this was the Son of God. And many women were there, beholding afar off, which followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering unto him, among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, the mother of Zebedee's children. When even was to come, there was a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out of the rocks. He rolled a great stone to the door and sculptured and departed. There was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sculpture. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate, saying, Sir, we remember that Delivasier. He was yet alive. After 3 days I will rise again. Commander, therefore, that the sculpture be made sure unto the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, He is risen from the dead. The last heir shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto them, Ye have a watch. Go your way, make it as sure as ye can. So they went and made the sculpture sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. The 4th color is blue.
That's one of
Why
They took on a few people's roles there, so.
Good job, Nick.
The 4th color is blue. The youth group thought that blue would remind you of the way that we can be washed clean from our sins because of Jesus' resurrection. Micah.
Turn your sign around.
Put the blue out this way.
It's blue out.
Turn it around so then you can see the blue. Turn it around. Flip it over, Cameron.
Action chapter
Oh my gosh.
24. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certainly others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered it and found not the body of the Lord Jesus. And it came to pass, as they were much perplexed, for about, behold, 2 men stood by them in shining garments, and as they were afraid, and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said upon them, Why seek ye the living among the dead? He's not here, but is risen. Remember how he spake spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, and be crucified, and the third day rise again. And they remembered his words, and returned from the sepulchre, and told all these things unto the 11 and to all the rest. It was Mary Magdalene and John and Mary, the mother of James, and the other one that were there with them, which told them things upon the disciples. And their words seemed to them as idle tales, and they believed them not. Then across Peter and ran unto the sepulchre, and snooping down, he beheld the linen clothes laid by themselves, and departed wondering in himself at that which was come to pass.
Evan.
And they thus spake. Jesus himself stood in the midst of them, and saith unto them, Peace be unto you. But they were terrified and frightened, and supposed that they had seen a spirit. And then he said unto them, Why are ye troubled, and why do thoughts arise in your hearts? Behold my hands and my feet, that it is I myself. Handle me, and see, for a spirit hath not flesh and bones, as ye see me have. And when he had thus spoken, he shewed them his hands and his feet. And while they yet believed not for joy and wondered, he said unto them, Have ye here any meat? And they gave him a piece of broiled fish and a honeycomb. And he took it, and did eat before them. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you, while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and in the Psalms concerning me. Then opened their understanding, that they might understand the Scriptures, and said unto them, Thus it is written, and thus it behoved Christ to suffer, and to rise from the dead the third day. And that repentance and remission of sins which should be preached in his name among all nations, and beginning at Jerusalem.
The fifth color is red. Have you three thought that red will remind you of the love that Jesus shared for us through the birth, life, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus Christ? Trevor.
For God, the Word, gave His Son, but with in Him, not various, had to the wife.
Very good.
Good job, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.